Hi guys, it's Jessie. I'm the designer of Projectarian Patterns, and in this series I'm guiding you through my pattern for the Underwater Tales crochet along in collaboration with Hobbii. I hope you enjoyed part 1 last week where we made Gumdrop's body. Today in part 2 we're going to be making Juju's body. This is a reversible amigurumi, meaning that in the end you will have a model with Gumdrop on one side. You can flip Gumdrop inside out to reveal Juju on the other side. For Juju's body today, the special technique that we'll be doing is color work, so you'll need to know how to change colors. I will be showing you how as we go through the pattern today, but if you want to practice in advance, I do have a tutorial specially on this technique. Visit my Instagram story highlight for the Underwater Tales crochet along. There is a series of 7 video tutorials specifically covering the techniques that we're using in this crochet along so that you can practice before you begin. If you're ready to go, let's dive in. We're going to begin with colors C and D and a 6mm hook. First, I'll flip Gumdrop's body inside out. I'm going to be working onto round 2 of Gumdrop's head, which is this ridge of loops that you can see just behind the jaws. Remember, we marked the first single crochet of this round in the back loop when we started working Gumdrop's head, and we also have a marker around the post of that first single crochet. So we're going to be working into these back loops that we have left over here. Looking at them from this side, they are now front loops because they are the loops that are facing us. I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch, pointing away from Gumdrop's tail, pointing towards Gumdrop's mouth. So my hook will go just into the one loop of the stitch. Then I'll remove the marker from the loop, leaving the marker that is attached to the post. Take colors C and D and join them with a slip stitch in that stitch. Now, as the pattern says, I need to chain 1 and work 32 single crochets, working into these loops all the way around. I also need to mark the first single crochet, the 27th single crochet, and the last single crochet of this round as I work them, marking them in the front loop only. The first single crochet is done, so I'll mark the stitch in the front loop only. So I'll continue crocheting into this ridge of loops all the way around, inserting my hook under just the one loop every time, and I'll crochet over the loose end as I go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sure you've got the hang of it by now, so I'm going to speed up for the rest of the round. 7, 8, 9, 10. This loose end is secure, so I'm going to lay it on this side so it can be sandwiched between the two bodies later. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and mark that stitch in the front loop only. 28, 29, 30, 31, and stitch number 32 gets worked into this last stitch that has a marker, so we'll remove the marker. 32, and mark your last stitch in the front loop only. I'm trimming this loose end to keep things tidy, but you can leave it to be tucked between the two bodies later. When you get to the end of round 1, join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. So even though the front loop is marked, I'm going to insert my hook into both loops like you would crochet into a normal stitch and make one slip stitch to close the round. So round 1 is complete and this is what it looks like. If I flip Gumdrop's jaws back out, this is how it looks. So there's a pink ridge running all the way around Gumdrop's head, just behind the jaws. I'm going to flip Gumdrop's jaws back inside so I can continue crocheting and work round 2. For round 2, chain 1 and then work 32 single crochets into the back loop only. So starting in the first single crochet of your previous round, just insert your hook into the back loop. It can be a bit tricky getting past the marker, so you can grab the back loop and push your hook in there. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm sure you've got it by now, so I'll speed up for the rest of the round. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Join with a slip stitch in the first stitch. Row 2 is complete, you can tie off. So we've basically just finished Juju's mouth and now we're going to work on Juju's head. To start off, we'll just swing Gumdrop around, and for this round we'll insert our hook pointing towards Gumdrop's tail. For round 2, we're going to be working into these remaining loops of round 1. Remember, during our previous round we worked into the back loops, leaving the front loops available. So in this next round we're going to work into these front loops. We're going to begin using colors C and D, and we're going to join in the 27th single crochet. An easy way to recognize it is we know that we marked the first and the last single crochet, so that will be these two markers, so the remaining marker is the 27th single crochet. And I'm going to remove the markers as I work into these stitches. Join your yarn with a slip stitch, chain 1 and work 32 single crochets. 1, and just like before, I'm inserting my hook under one loop each time, and I'll crochet over my loose end as I go. That was number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The loose end is secure, so I'll lay it towards Gumdrop's tail where it will end up tucked between the two bodies later. You can also trim it. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Number 27 is worked into a marked stitch, and I'm going to remove the marker as I work into that stitch. 27. The very next stitch is also a marked stitch. 28, and remove that marker. 29, 30, 31, 32. Round 1 of the head is complete. I need to continue working in the round and use a running stitch marker now, so I'm not going to close this round with a slip stitch. I'm just going to continue working with a running stitch marker like I did for Gumdrop. I'm just going to trim this loose end to keep things tidy. And now we get to the most complicated part of the whole pattern, which is the color work on Juju's body. There are quite a few things to keep track of, and I'll go through them with you. The easiest way to do this part is by following the video. I'll talk you through everything step by step. I've just tucked this loose end inside Gumdrop's mouth to keep it out of the way during the demonstration. During this section, we're going to be changing colors. The one pair of colors we're going to use is C and D. The second pair of colors we're going to use is E and F. From here on, I'm going to be referring to this pair as pink and this pair as white, just to keep things simple. In the pattern, there's quite a few notes laying down the rules of color work. I'm going to go right ahead and start with round 2, and I'll explain everything as needed as we go. I'll begin working round 2 with pink, working in the round using a running stitch marker, and I'll begin with 8 single crochets and an increase in pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm about to work my increase. On the second stitch of my increase, I'm going to change to white. So I'll work 1 stitch with pink. Now I'm going to change color. To change color, I'm going to start my single crochet, and when I have 2 loops on my hook, I'm going to finish my stitch with the new color, which is white. Now I'm set up to work with white. For the next 16 stitches, I'm going to alternate white and pink stitches, working 1 white, 1 pink, 1 white, 1 pink, and so on for 16 stitches. Since I've just joined this new yarn, I am going to crochet over the tail as I go, but I'm not going to crochet over the old color that I'm not using right now. I'll begin my single crochet using white. My next stitch is pink, so I immediately need to change color again. I'll drop the white, pick up the pink, and finish my stitch. 1 out of 16 stitches is complete. Now I'm going to begin my pink stitch, crocheting over the loose end as I go, but leaving the color that I'm not using. So I'll begin my single crochet with pink and immediately change to white because my next stitch needs to be white. I'll start my next white stitch working over the loose end as I go and leaving the pink hanging loose. And my next stitch needs to be pink, so I'll immediately change to pink. And for my next stitch, I'm going to crochet over the loose end again, leaving the white. And I'll change to white for my next stitch again. As you can see, the color pattern is already starting to form. I'll start my next white stitch working over the loose end, drop the white, immediately change to pink, and work a pink stitch, crocheting over the loose end again. The next thing I want you to notice is each time I drop my yarn, I'm dropping the colors in the same direction every time. I have my pink yarn over here and my white yarn on this side. So each time I drop a pair of colors, I drop them towards their own balls. If you do that, each time you drop a color, it will avoid twisting the yarn so that you don't have to constantly untangle it. It will stay untangled as you work. So I'll work a white stitch and drop my white yarn towards the white balls, work a pink stitch, drop the pink yarns towards their balls, and pick up my white. The loose end is secure, so I'm going to drop it towards Gumdrop's tail, and that way it will be sandwiched between the two bodies. Work a white stitch and drop the yarns towards their balls, work a pink stitch, and drop the yarns towards their balls. The first round can be a little bit tricky if you've never done something like this before, but after a while you will fall into a rhythm and it will get easier. As I mentioned earlier, we are meant to be working 16 stitches alternating between white and pink for those 16 stitches. That means we'll end up with 8 white stitches and 8 pink stitches. So an easy way to keep track on this round is just count how many pairs of stitches you have. I currently have 7 pairs of pink and white stitches. That means I have 14 out of my 16 stitches and I need to work 1 more pair. This is my 15th stitch of color work, so it's my last white stitch. I'm going to change to pink now. And so I'm finished working with white for this round, because this pink one that I'm about to work is my 16th stitch. So for my next stitch, I'm going to crochet over the white yarn just to secure it because I'm finished working with it for now. That means I'm going to finish my round crocheting with pink. According to the pattern, I need to work an increase in my next stitch, so I'm going to crochet over the white yarn for 1 stitch to finish securing it, and then work the second single crochet of my increase. I'll let the white hang loose as I continue crocheting with pink, and as you go, your white might twist around the body just once, so you'll have to untwist it the next time you want to use it, but you won't get any major tangles. To finish this round, I'll work 6 pink single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I have arrived back at my running stitch marker. Round 2 is complete, and I want to go over a few notes with you before we carry on. So I'm just going to remove my hook and attach a marker for a few minutes. We have our first round of color work, and this is what it looks like. Alternating white and pink across one side of Gumdrop's head, and on the other side, solid pink. In the pattern, the color work is illustrated as a graph made of blocks. Each block counts as 1 stitch. So an easy way to follow the colorwork pattern at a glance is by looking at the number of blocks and knowing that each block counts for one stitch. Another point to note is that on either side of the colorwork we have plain pink stitches. So we started off with pink, then we alternated white and pink, then we finished with pink. This is also illustrated in the pattern as part of the graph, where this portion of the row is illustrated as a longer block in the graph and it's got written instructions of how many stitches are there. Here where we worked 8 single crochets and an increase, you'll see in the pattern you have a block that says there are 8 single crochets and an increase before the colorwork starts. After all the colorwork blocks, there will be a long block again telling you to work an increase and 6 single crochets to finish off your round. And one final point to note is whenever you reach the end of a colorwork section, crochet over your white yarn for 2 stitches just to secure it until you're ready to use it again. For round 3, we're going to work only with pink, so you can let the white hang loose. We're going to continue working in the round. This round is very simple and straightforward, but I'll go through it with you quickly. Work 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, increase, 17 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. When you reach the white end, just leave it hanging loose, don't crochet over it or anything like that. Increase, and then 6 single crochets to finish the round. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was very easy, and we just worked a solid round of pink. Round 4 has colorwork in it again. Start by working 10 single crochets and an increase in pink. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, increase, and I'm about to start my color work, so on the second stitch of my increase I'll change to white. Now my white is all the way over here, so I'll show you how to transport it for changing color. I'll start my pink stitch. Now I'm ready to change color, so I'm just going to pick up the white and draw it across Gumdrop's head and complete the stitch with white. The white should hang loosely like this. Don't pull it tight so that it doesn't distort the body. Now I'm going to work my first white stitch, and I'm going to crochet over the white strand as I do that, just to secure it. Not crocheting over the pink, just the white. For one stitch, and I immediately need to change to pink again for my next stitch. For this piece of color work, I need to alternate between white and pink 8 times again, so that's 16 stitches again. So just like before, I'm going to start a pink stitch, drop my pink towards its own balls, and immediately change to white. And I'm not crocheting over this loose thread anymore, I'll just leave it hanging there. My next stitch is white, and I'll immediately change to pink again. Work a pink stitch and change back to white again. Keep dropping your pink towards its own balls and keep dropping the white towards its own balls. This is stitch number 7 of 16. Eight, 9, that white thread is still just hanging loose inside there. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm about to finish the 8 sets of alternating white and pink stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And according to the pattern, I need to work one more white stitch after these 16 stitches. 16. So there's my last white stitch. Now I'm going to finish the round with pink. I'm finished working with white, so my next 2 pink stitches need to be worked over the white to secure it until I'm ready to use it again. According to the pattern, I need to work an increase next, so I'll work that increase over the white. I've worked my 2 stitches over the white yarn, so I'm going to drop the white and finish my round with pink. I'll work 7 single crochets to finish the round. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Round 4 is complete. This is how it looks. Alternating white and pink dots separated from your previous round of color work by a solid round of pink. Once again, they're all the way across one side of Gumdrop's head and the other side is plain pink. And if we lift this up, we can see the white hanging freely here, not creating any tension. And it is secured on this side by the 2 stitches that we crocheted over it. Round 5 is very easy. It's just a solid pink round again. Round 6 has alternating dots like we've already done. And so for the next few rounds, you'll just keep on like that, working a solid pink round and then a round of white and pink dots. Because the next 2 color work rounds are very similar to what I've just demonstrated, I won't go through them again, so I'm going to skip ahead to the end of round 9 and I'll work round 10 together with you. I've reached the end of round 9 and this is how it looks. We have 4 color work rounds separated by plain pink rounds. All the color work rounds are just alternating dots of white and pink. And if I fold this back, we have our white threads hanging freely inside. From each time I started a new color round where I drew the white across Gumdrop's head to begin my color work. For round 10, I'll work the first 13 single crochets with pink and then we'll do the color work together. 12 stitches are done. On my 13th stitch, I'll change to white. For my first 6 stitches of color work, I'll alternate between white and pink 3 times. So that's 1 pair of white and pink, two, and 3. Now I need to work 10 white stitches, and whenever you work a longer section of white like this, crochet over your pink to carry it along as you go. Just as a fun side note, the reason why I carry my pink but I never carry my white is because I don't want those white threads ever showing up between the stitches and interrupting the appearance of the color work. 6, 7, 8, 9, and change back to pink. 10. For my next 6 stitches, I'm going to alternate between pink and white 3 times. So that's 1 pair, 2, 3. Then I'm going to change back to pink. I'm finished the color work section of my row, which means I'm going to crochet over the white for 2 stitches to secure it. And I just need to work 9 pink single crochets to finish my round. Drop the white. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The round is complete. The next round is plain pink, so I'm going to go ahead with that, and I'll meet you again for round 12. And here we are in round 12. Round 12 begins with 14 pink single crochets. I've already worked 13 of them. On the 14th one, I'm going to change to white because our color work is about to begin. To start off, we'll alternate between white and pink 3 times, so that's 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to alternate between 2 white stitches and 2 pink stitches and do that twice. So you work your first white stitch like normal, and on your second one change to pink. Then work a pink stitch, and on the second pink stitch change to white. Then we need another 2 white stitches, and 2 pink. And these are just short little dashes, so I'm not crocheting over my yarn for each color change. My 2 sets of 2 white and 2 pink stitches is complete. Now the pattern says to work 2 more white stitches. For the rest of the color work, I'm going to alternate between pink and white 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The color work section is complete, so I'll crochet over the white for 2 stitches as usual, and I'm finishing this round with 10 pink stitches. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The round is complete and the color pattern is starting to look really cool. The next few rounds are everything you already know, so I'm going to skip ahead and meet you again for round 16. We're back and picking up in round 16. I've already started round 16. It begins with 14 single crochets and a decrease. I've worked my 14 single crochets. I'm going to begin my decrease just like a normal decrease. When I have 3 loops on my hook, I'll go grab my white and complete the stitch with white. Then I'm going to alternate between pairs of white and pink twice. So this is the start of my first pair. One, two. The next step is to work 2 white stitches, 2 pink and 2 white. So 1 white, on my second white change to pink, do the same with the pink, and then 2 white stitches. The next step is to work a decrease. So after I've changed to pink, I'm going to start working a decrease across the next 2 stitches. And when I have 3 loops on my hook, I'll immediately change back to white again. Then work 2 white stitches, 2 pink and 2 white. There's 2 white, 2 pink, 2 white, then alternate between pairs of pink and white twice. So there's 1 pair, and the second pair. This is how the color work should look. My decrease is over there, and it's quite similar to the other pink pairs of stitches, so visually this section of the row should look like dashes. I'm finished my color work, so I'm going to finish the round with pink, and as usual I need to work 2 stitches over the white. My first stitch with pink is a decrease, and you can count this as 2 stitches, or you can work another stitch over the white, it doesn't matter either way, and then 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The round is complete and we've officially gone through all the different things you'll encounter during the color work. So I'm going to go ahead with the body. It's everything you already know how to do. The only difference you'll encounter but later on is that you'll start working 2 solid pink rounds between each color work round eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to round 40. So here we are for round 40, and this is how things are looking. The color work is almost complete and it looks amazing. Juju's body is also almost finished. It's all very exciting, and I'm going to show you how to work round 40. I'm going to go ahead and work up to the end of the color work in this round because we already know how to do all of that. Here we are. I've just worked my last white single crochet. We've also reached the end of the round. My next stitch is pink. I'm about to change color. I'm finished working with white, so I'm going to cut the white. I'll finish my stitch with pink. And for round 41, I'll crochet over the white for a few stitches as I go to secure the white. Round 41 starts with 1 single crochet, a decrease, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. Then I'll just tuck that loose end away between the 2 bodies. I'm going to skip ahead to the end of round 44. When the body is done, you'll finish off in exactly the same way as you did Gumdrop's last round. And Juju's body is complete. Juju's body looks kind of like a hat at this point. I still don't think you're gonna guess what the creature is, but let me know in the comments if you think you know what Juju is. Otherwise, let me know what your favorite part of making Juju's body was. Let me know if you learned something new or which part you enjoyed the most. Thank you for joining me today for part 2. I'm really excited for next week because part 3 is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying your progress pictures, so don't forget to share them, use the tags, follow Projectarian and Hobby on Instagram to stay in the loop, subscribe to Hobby's YouTube channel so you don't miss another video, and you can also subscribe to my Projectarian channel on YouTube for more crocheting tutorials and patterns.